out 32 letters to mayors around the country, and I believe to 7 governors, telling them you better comply or you're next. We're going to work with our other agencies to cut off their federal funding. We are going to send in law enforcement, just like we did during the LA riots, just like we're doing here in Washington, D.C. And if they're not going to keep their citizens safe, Donald Trump will keep them safe.
That is Attorney General Pam Bondi. She is doubling down on her warning to sanctuary cities and states. They face a deadline of today to reply to her letter, either confirm that they will cooperate with federal immigration enforcement or they must face consequences. And some are still resisting. Boston is one of them. Just today, this morning, the mayor there holding a news conference to say this.
The U.S. Attorney General asked for a response by today. So here it is. Stop attacking our cities to hide your administration's failures. Unlike the Trump administration, Boston follows the law. That has made us the safest major city in the country.
So this comes despite example after example of Boston releasing accused rapists, gang members, drug dealers, and violent assailants, all in defiance of ICE detainers. CB Cotton is here now with more. Hi, CB.
Hi, Aisha. Yeah, today Boston Mayor Michelle Wu doubled down on her claim that Boston's sanctuary policies make the city safer for all Americans. And she accused the Trump administration of using sanctuary cities as a cover-up for what she said was the Trump administration's missteps.
We are picking up the pieces of your failures to deliver on your promises. Under the Trump administration, groceries are less affordable. Housing is harder to build. Cures for cancer are farther away.
Wu's fiery pushback comes after Attorney General Pam Bondi warned Boston and more than 30 other cities, counties, or states cooperate with federal immigration enforcement or risk losing federal money and possibly lawsuits.
Now, aside from all of the lies that come along with this, we know that the Trump administration has been on a tear when it comes to winning lawsuits in federal court, especially in appeals, regardless of whatever it is that they start to fight over. Trump has been winning overall. But more importantly, we know that Trump has also been the president, promises made, promises delivered. But then on top of that, why won't they just work to make sure that the people that are arrested illegally get deported? Why is that such a groundbreaking thing? Why is that such a major issue, sticking point? I'll tell you why. It was a rhetorical question. This is why. It's because they are determined to fight against the Trump administration, not necessarily uphold the law. They are, since the beginning, it doesn't matter how much funding they lose. It don't matter how much their citizens suffer. It doesn't matter how much costs are. It doesn't matter how unsafe the cities are. We just recently seen the Trump administration have to start to direct the DC police, in which that has yielded phenomenal results in over 308 arrests and over 58 firearms seized and drug dealers being removed off the streets. But this is the sticking point. This is the thing that y'all stand on. This is why Democrats have been losing across the board in every way that you can think of on multiple different fronts, especially with the issues that voters really care about. Now, of course, you're going to have the Democrats in the sanctuary city strongholds where people vote blue, regardless, even if they're uneducated, at the lowest voter rate of under 20, sometimes 16 and 10%, depending on whatever city that you go to. We know that there's going to be Democrat strongholds in those spaces. But more importantly, that does not mean that those people that live in those cities do not deserve the right to be able to have safe spaces for their kids to walk down the street, that crime should not be reduced. And let me be very clear on where I stand on crime. Any crime that is committed against somebody that is innocent, especially a woman or a child, is too many. 1 is too many. 5 is too many. And then you combine the fact they've been juicing the stats to try to justify and say, well, crime is down in all of these cities. Bullcrap. Nonsense. But here we are. We still here. And so Pam Bondi has basically issued a deadline for sanctuary cities to get involved, or you are going to either start losing funding, and it doesn't mean that we're not going to still, excuse me, make the city safe.
We have a thing going on right now in D.C. We went from the most unsafe place anywhere to a place that now friends are calling me up, Democrats are calling me up, and they're saying, sir, I want to thank you. People that haven't gone out to dinner in Washington, D.C. in 2 years are going out to dinner, and the restaurants the last 2 days were busier than they've been in a long time.
All right, there you have it. Joining us now is U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi. AG Bondi, you must be doing something good since you federalized this Washington, D.C. story. Even people are going out to dinner. Even President Trump, no, maybe he went out to dinner. I don't know. But I'm told, wait, did I say over 400 arrests total now, 137 over the weekend, and you're cleaning the homeless. Tell us about it, because this is like a miracle story.
Yeah, and Larry, this is all done, of course, at the directive of Donald Trump. He's making our world safe, and he's certainly going to make our capital the safest place in the country. Larry, to put it in perspective, Washington, D.C. had the 4th highest homicide rate in the country, right here in the Capitol, 6 times higher than where you are right now in New York City. Higher than Chicago, higher than other major cities, and it had to stop. So President Trump knew this, and he said, we're going to federalize it. We have been working hand in hand with our great men and women in the Metro Police Department, the Transit Authority. We've brought in the Park Police, the National Guard, all of the agencies that fall under me, the FBI, Kash Patel's doing a great job, DEA, Terry Cole, ATF, U.S. Marshals, Gowdy Serralta's managing the whole thing. Terry's also managing it. I was out there every single night this weekend at the command center with all of our law enforcement, and but for the T-shirts they were wearing, you could not tell who was with what agency. It was such camaraderie, such cooperation. The stories they tell every night about keeping D.C. safe. They've taken 59 guns off the streets right here. Just this weekend, they got 21 guns, Larry. To hear, it was amazing, the stories they were telling me. Saturday night, before they went out, before it was even dark, they performed a traffic stop. All these guys got out, bailed out of the car, took off, caught the majority of them. 3 guns under the seats in the car. 1 was an assault rifle. That's the kind of crime that was happening right around the corner from us in our nation's capital. Larry, not only that, Donald Trump's going to make it beautiful again. He's been out taking the graffiti off of our beautiful monuments, off of the streets, off of the businesses. We're going to clean up this city at his directive, and the people are loving it, and the law enforcement officers are loving it.
So what is there to protest? That's the part that I'm trying to understand. Why do people feel the need to be able to protest? Because, like, for example, I was watching Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley travels all over the country asking about issues when it comes to conservatism and whatever the popular issue is at the time. And they were arresting a drug dealer, and they clearly had the drugs off of him. And he was asking the white apologist protesters that were out there, and he said, why are you guys protesting this guy or protesting against this happening right now? Why are y'all bothering these government agencies that's doing their job? And he couldn't really ever give a logical explanation. And you know why? It's because there is no logical explanation for crime in these cities and the things that are happening against the citizens. I would encourage people to continue to observe and then make an informed decision objectively about how it is that you should divest yourself against the Democrat plantation, and how for all of these years, for decades of our lives, we've never truly been safe inside of our own cities. And we finally have an opportunity to do so. And you have these sanctuary city mayors and governors of these states that are basically trying to hold you guys hostage in order to maintain power. Let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Hanley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm holler at you guys later. Peace.